Good morning, Beaumont. Glad that you're here today. Wanted to get right down to a couple of things. Doc Greene here at Freedom 1300. You know, they had the No More Kings rally over the weekend, and I thought that was particularly fun because, let's face it, if Donald Trump really was a king, well, the government wouldn't be shut down, would it? No, the government's shut down because Chucky Schumer, otherwise known as Up Chuck Schumer, thinks he's a king. And he thinks that holding the government hostage and making sure that people are not getting paid, making sure that the IRS is cutting more than half its workforce, he thinks those are all worthy goals, and that's why he's keeping the government shut down. But, you know, if Donald Trump was a king, Up Chuck Schumer wouldn't be able to do that. If Donald Trump was a king, we would not have all of these upstart federal judges that were mostly appointed that are up there trying to pretend to be the king of the United States, saying, oh, no, you can't deport these poor illegal aliens. Yes, well, if Donald Trump was really the king, that wouldn't be happening, would it? In fact, if Donald Trump was really the king, he would get all of these worthless, anti-American, human-hating judges and put them in prison. That's what would happen if Donald Trump was a king. But Donald Trump's not a king. You see, he won the Democratic election. That's right. We had a Democratic election, and that's Democratic, not Democrat. And Donald Trump won the popular vote, even though he didn't have to. And he also won the Electoral College in a landslide. So the point is, Donald Trump is the democratically elected president of the United States. There's one person in the United States that every single adult gets to vote on and say, I want this guy. Nobody else does that. I mean, there's no senator, there's no congressman, no one else gets voted on by the entire population of the United States. And in spite of the 30 million fake mail-in ballots that were given to Kamala Harris, which didn't even still make it close, Donald Trump won the popular vote, and Donald Trump won the Electoral College. So there's one guy in the United States that everyone in the United States agreed on. This is the guy we want to lead us. And why do we want him to lead us? Well, because we're sick and tired of giving our hard-earned taxpayer dollars to people that contributed nothing to this country. We are absolutely sick and tired of supporting the drug cartels who are actually making more money on human smuggling than they were on drugs. We're sick and tired of the fact that we go down to the Social Security office and we can't get in to see a Social Security officer because there are so many other people there that don't speak English, and they're all there to get free goodies. We are sick and tired of this. We voted. We wanted a president who was going to make America great again, and we wanted a president that was going to make America great for Americans. You know, you hear about the dreamers. Well, you know, I have 10 grandchildren, and they're all dreamers too. And they dreamed of being able to grow up in America and to be able to find a good job or start their own businesses and then buy their own homes and get married and raise their own families. That's what they dreamed of. But you see, there's a lot of people that came here to the United States from south of our border. And you know what? 8 out of 10 of those guys only came here to steal an American's job. 8 out of 10 of those guys only came here to steal an American's classroom seat for their ill-begotten children. So, and the other 2 out of 10 came here to kill, rape, rob, pillage, and sell drugs. Donald Trump said, you know, I want America to be for Americans, and I want to stop the illicit drug trade. And he's doing it. For the first time in my entire life, we are winning the war on drugs. And I love this. The other day, they blew up a submarine that was coming into the United States from Venezuela, filled with fentanyl and cocaine and heroin. And a lot of the lefties out there got very upset. They said, how dare you blow up that submarine? You don't know what they were bringing in here. Well, we do know. And we do know that Donald Trump said, you are not going to come here and you're not going to kill Americans with that product. So we are pretty excited about it. But, we got Chuck Schumer out there, and Chuck Schumer thinks he's a king. So Chuck Schumer shut down the government. A lot of people are going without. But nonetheless, as long as the government is shut down, America is in a better place. Now, I'm sorry if your government check is not arriving on time. Really, truly, I am. My heart goes out to you. I pray that something good happens to you today. But nonetheless, as long as government is in session, neither man nor beast is safe. That's right, because you don't know what kind of crazy laws they're going to pass. Now, the good news is, with the slight, very slim Republican majority, chances are the laws that get passed are going to be a little better than they used to be. But it's not enough, and it's not good enough yet. What we need is what's going to happen in the midterm elections, which is still some period away, a year away to be exact. What we need is a complete Republican sweep. And I can tell you, looking at the polls right now and looking at the voter registrations nationwide right now, I don't see any Democrats getting elected to a statewide or higher office anywhere in the United States for at least the next 20 years. It's going to be that way. For one reason, the Supreme Court ruling that said you cannot just design a voting district based on the color of the people who live there. That is racist. Yes, for the first time, we're beginning to recognize that racism is racism. It doesn't matter what color you are. The other thing that I'm absolutely blown away by, and I play some of it here on my Saturday show, but I'm absolutely blown away by the huge number of black Americans that support Donald Trump, that support conservative policies, that recognized that uncontrolled illegal aliens coming into the United States was destroying their livelihood. Ladies and gentlemen, the main thing about the Democrats is they were never able to win unless they got 83% of the minority vote. 83% of the black Americans and at least 40% of the Hispanic Americans. Those are requirements for the Democrats to win any election. Well, guess what? They're not getting that much support now from the black community. A large number of black people, particularly in cities like Memphis and Chicago, they are on Washington, D.C. They're looking out over there and saying, wow, Donald Trump has made our lives better. You know what? My kids can play in the yard now, and I don't have to worry about them so much getting shot up by some random bullet. Because let's face it, when the gangs go out there and have shootouts, these guys are not good shots. They don't go to the range and work out like you and I do. They can't shoot straight. And those bullets, every time they get fired, they're going to go somewhere. And I just read a story of some little kid. He's like 9 years old, in his room at home playing video games when he was killed by a stray bullet. So Donald Trump is fixing that. How is he fixing it? Well, he's arresting all of these criminals. He's arresting the gangbangers. He's arresting the cartel members in our cities. You know, in Chicago, this came out over 10 years ago in a criminal trial, that there are more narco soldiers on the streets of Chicago than there were police officers. And that was over 10 years ago. So Donald Trump is there now. And I think you'd probably find, if you did a little looking around, you'd probably find that Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, who I believe stole the election, and their governor, J.B. Pritzker, I think you would find that both of them are getting substantial money from the crime bosses, and that is why they are protecting the criminals there in their cities. Why else would they continue to protect those criminals and ignore the hardworking Americans that are in their cities? Well, the answer is obvious. There's got to be money behind it. Now, Pritzker is only the seventh richest guy in his family. He is heir to the Hilton hotel fortune. But nonetheless, these guys are anti-American. They are pro-drug cartels. Now, perhaps maybe it's not exactly all of their fault. We have to consider that the drug cartels go to the leaders in the various communities where they operate, and they say, here's the deal. we'll either pay you this amount of money every month, or we'll kill you if you don't go along with it. So which is it? So when I look at these guys and I realize they're probably in the pockets of the drug cartels, it bothers me a little bit. But nonetheless, there is no excuse for allowing the drug cartels to operate in America. None whatsoever. So having said all of that, let me say this. If you didn't hear about it already, the Secret Service has found a hunting stand that is now being investigated, but the line of sight pointed directly at the Air Force One landing area at Palm Beach Airport. The agents have been scoping the area out around the airport just prior to Donald Trump's arrival at West Palm Beach, where Mar-a-Lago is located. And they found what appears to be a deer hunting stand within sightline of Air Force One landing zone. Now, here's the really interesting thing about this. There's no deer hunting there. There isn't any. So, there was nobody there. The FBI has taken the lead on the investigation of this. They're trying to collect all the evidence, and they're deploying cell phone analytics. But as of yet, law enforcement individuals are saying that no individual has been found associated with this stand. Now, how do you get in there and build a deer stand and nobody comes along and asks any questions? I don't know. Admittedly, it was in sort of a wilderness area adjacent to the airport. It was in the only wilderness area adjacent to the airport. So we don't have a lot of details, but let's face it, just coming off the No Kings Day, yeah, it's pretty gosh darned interesting. So they hate Donald Trump. They do, because he's making America great again. And if you make America great again, who in the world is going to want to support the globalist one world government? So all I can say is thank God they found it. Thank God we have the adults back in charge. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being part of the Freedom 1300 Beaumont radio audience. Beaumont, Texas, the center of the Golden Triangle. Let's make America great again, and let's make Beaumont great again. See you guys tomorrow.